2 hours, 35 minutes to go when the green flag falls and we start racing in earnest, even though the clock is already going. So he's got time. And speaking of time, it's about time to go green. Safety car, pace car on pit road. In the field, nice and slow, column formation, prototypes up front. Somebody's peeking out back, and they don't want to see that. Looks like one of the TDS cars. LMP3 cars back a little bit. Green flag waves. Racing here at Road America, the IMSA Weathertech Sports Car Championship. Down to turn one. Here we go, Cal.
Yeah, and I think one of that TDS cars actually switched columns, so he's probably going to get a penalty for that. Nice start by now pole sitter Matty Campbell. Colin Brown, big move around the outside. The pink and white machine there for Mathiasen Racing from deep in the field. Nice start for Colin.
Did not have the qualifying that they wanted, and he is on the charge early. And of course, it helps that two of the cars that qualified in front of him are now behind him because of the start processes. Colin Brown on a charge and charging the GTD field as they come to green.
Yeah, and Connor De Filippi is trying to make his way through there safely and try and get back to this prototype battle that we're looking at coming down deep into the brakes.
That's the number 9 Fat Porsche to the inside, wheels on the grass as he goes around the McLaren into turn 1.
Rockenfeller, a nice move there in the GTP field.
Prototype screen left, GTD cars screen right, and the GTD field is going to go run over a long period of time. It certainly has.
It has, and Matty's doing a great job. He's got tremendous confidence, as you can see. He's dealing with the traffic with seemingly no effort whatsoever. He's got the fastest lap by a good chunk here. Actually, Philip Enger's just responding to BMW. Everyone else is running 1 minute 50 plus, and he and Eng are the only drivers in the 149 range. So he's built about an 8-second lead over Bourdais. Big question mark is, of course, how much energy save is going on. Before, around Road America, you were trying to save the tires, and by saving the tires, you were saving fuel at the same time. If the track rank amateurs at times, because we talk about Sims today, we talk about Connor De Filippi. They've all made mistakes. Yeah. Look at Ricky Taylor there. Yeah, there's enough runoff room, but that could have been in a concrete barrier, and they're just that sensitive. The drivers just can't feel. Here's Felipe Nasr on an outlap, just having taken over from our pole sitter Matty Campbell. They're just that sensitive, and to add to it, Brian, when you get outside that black line, this racetrack doesn't give you anything either in terms of any grip, so it's like a double whammy.
Well, and you kind of get it in the middle of the corner and in the braking zones as well. We have to remember this is a very different braking system than all of these drivers are used to. It's brake by wire. It's got a different feel connected to the hybrid system. So you add that cold.
The schedule for next year, for the most part, and for the most part of the series that IMSA is running and administrating for 2024 is out. Some headline news is that we're getting, we'll hit that first, we're getting 5 Michelin Endurance Cup races.
Yeah, absolutely. We're thrilled, of course, to return to our traditional spots on the Michelin Endurance Cup, the Rolex 24 at Daytona, the Sebring's Mobile 1 12-hour in March. Of course, back to Watkins Glen for the Salem 6-hour at the end of June. A new 6-hour race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway next September. And of course, the season finale, Motul Petit Le Mans at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. So really excited to add that 5th. But, you know, you're going back into traditional slots to the iconic
35 at number 20 with the 52 leading. LMP3, however, a couple of laps ago, there was a change for the lead because Josh Bird was able to get past Joao Barbosa. So number 74, Riley Carr, who winner here last year, is back in the lead of that class now with Joao Barbosa for Sean Creech Motorsports bundled down to 2nd position. In GTD Pro, finally, a couple of laps ago, number 3 Corvette served its penalty, so it's fallen back.
I've got news on that. They were actually arguing Michelin post-race tech after this one. What a run for both the Aston Martin and the Lexus RCF GT. I'm leaning towards that Lexus as possibly one of my thoughts for BDO No's strategy, because they've been running their own pace all the way through. They weren't at the sharp end of GTD Pro, but they have found themselves in contention with 7, call it 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, for me, I mean, no one's done anything really outlandish in terms of strategy from my perspective, other than the gamble, it seems to me, by the number 7 car. Is that going to come back to haunt them, just take it on those left side tyres? Because, as you say, they certainly had plenty of time. Maybe they didn't have enough tyres. But for the first time now... Yep.
IMSA Motorsport, Ryan DL in and out for a splash of fuel. Wayne Boyd the same for the Duquesne, number 17 for AWA. Leaders with nothing between them in terms of traffic going down to turn 1. In terms of time, it's 3.3 seconds. Nasir flashing his headlights. He goes down to turn 3. It's the FAF Porsche that is ahead of him this time around as he's in the long run down to turn 5. No mistakes here for Felipe Nasr, and that's easier said than done, particularly on this circuit with this traffic, Jeremy.
Yeah, the last lap time for the leader was 153.5. The previous 3 laps had all been in the 51s. A couple of laps before that were in the 50s. So traffic on that last lap, and as they worked their way through that traffic, he was able to extend his lead just a little bit by actually better part of a second over Tom Blomqvist in second place.
Blomqvist caught behind the FAF Porsche down at turn 5. That's going to cost him some time. So through the carousel, he can't get around. He hasn't got enough grip now with the tyres at the end of the stint. He hasn't got enough grip to go around the outside, and that will be a time loss for the second position. Shea Adam on the pit lane with a car in strife down the front straight.
The 0-4 the last time around, John, that's the CrowdStrike by APR car that started on pole position, came by, no power. He is going to make it around, but coming into the pit lane for fuel. And I just heard Catherine Legg in the number 66 Gradient Racing Acura, absolutely 0 input from the internal combustion engine. She was dead stick, so I'm wondering if she's doing a control alt delete to try and make it back around. This was much tighter on fuel than many of these teams anticipated.
Yeah, Porsche keys to the race, be flexible with the strategy, but the strategy first has to be get the car home, and that is what Felipe Nasr has to do now. 4.048 miles to go. America's National Park of Speed is seeing something of a masterclass today by the number 7 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963. Their team have been absolutely perfect to this point, with the number 59 Harry Tinknell driven Porsche ahead, in some ways sort of running interference for the leader because he's waking up those lap cars as he goes through. It's almost like a running back ahead of the or a full back in front of the tailback as he goes through the traffic. And now half a lap or thereabouts to go for Nasr. Great opening stint by his teammate Matt Campbell, who started the race. There was no one alongside them because of the early wars this morning in warm-up for Alexander Sims, Pipo Derani and the Whelen Engineering Cadillac team. One more prototype to pass here for the leader. That's the number 20 high-class racing machine of Ed Jones, and he's not trying to go through. He's just, the leader is just pacing himself. It was 4.5 seconds. The Acura threat has been dealt with. It's been a perfectly pitched last run to the checkered flag from that last pit stop. Only 2 tyres. We questioned that, but it's worked. It didn't save them any time, but Felipe Nasr has used the performance of the Michelins and will come through to take a Porsche victory at Road America. Problems further back down the field for Trent Hinman in the Volt Porsche. He's off at turn 8. There may have been an incident with the number 96 BMW because that car's gone off in the same part of the circuit as well on what would be their last lap. Tom Blomqvist confirms second place for MSR and Acura. And we're just waiting for Ricky Taylor to come across the line. Whilst we wait for that, let's hear from the man who started 2 hours and 40 minutes ago on the front row of the grid by himself, Matt Campbell.
Well, I asked him a couple days ago if Road America was his favorite track in North America. Now 3 times a winner at this venue. He's congratulating all of the people behind the scenes, as right he should. Matty, 3 times a winner here. Is it now officially your favorite track?
Yeah, definitely is up there, that's for sure. I mean, phenomenal day. First win in IMSA and GTP, so finally got to tick it off. We've been fast, I feel like, on quite a few occasions, but luck's never been our side, and today we've just executed perfectly. So, yeah, thank you to all of Porsche Penske Motorsport, and nice to finally get one on the board after a tough year.
What was the thinking on the 2-tire stop instead of 4?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously quite hard to be able to get tyre temperature here, and it's really tough, so just to try and, you know, minimise the time lost out of the pits.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Very interesting, keeping the heat in the right-hand side. Tyres continuing with GTP, 4th position to Renger van der Zande and the 01 gold-fronted Cadillac racing car. Brilliant 5th position for the number 5, Tijmen van der Helm, bringing that car home after a pretty feisty first run from Mike Rockenfeller. They're getting their heads around that car, and they are becoming a force to be reckoned with. Cadillac in 5th position for the pole-sitting car, 6th for the Mathieu Jaminet finished car, the number 6 that Nick Tandy started, and the 59 of Harry Tinknell getting to the end. And all of those top 8 cars on the lead.